Hello, this is Dr. Adam J. Bach. In this short audio presentation, we're going to talk through the cost of customer acquisition calculation. So, cost of customer acquisition, often referred to just as CoCA, is an important number for any business, but especially so in the digital goods world and for startup companies. It's quite simple, really. It's just the total spent on acquiring customers divided by the number of customers who complete the purchase. In other words, we're trying to figure out what our average cost is to acquire one more customer. Sometimes the easiest way to think about this is just to do it. So let's do a quick example. Let's imagine for a moment that you are hosting some kind of major event at the UW-Madison. And one way or another, you're able to get your hands on the emails of all 40,000 students at UW-Madison. I'm not sure quite how you do that legally, but let's just pretend for the moment that you did. And so you've spent $100 to send out 40,000 emails. And 1% of the people who receive the email end up buying a ticket for the event. So what is our cost of customer acquisition? Remember, it's our total cost divided by the number of customers acquired. So I strongly urge you to pause the presentation here and see if you can come up with the answer yourself. Here's the answer. Our total cost is $100. That's how much we spent to get the email list and to send out all the emails. The number of customers that we're going to acquire is 40,000 times our 1% success rate. That turns out to be 400. So our cost of customer acquisition is our total cost divided by the number of customers acquired, $100 divided by 400, or approximately $2.25, which is 25 cents. So our cost of customer acquisition, that is our cost per each customer, is 25 cents. So what? Why do we need cost of customer acquisition? Well, as I said, it's the cost of acquiring each additional customer, which is a key indicator of the long-term financial model for the business. You might think about, what does CoCA imply about the profit you have to generate per each customer in the long haul? And I'll give you a little bit of a hint. When you combine CoCA with lifetime value, you'll discover something very, very important. But we'll talk about that in the lifetime value presentation. For the moment, let's do a little more work with CoCA so that you're really comfortable with what needs to be done. The real issue with CoCA, of course, is that it's not usually described in a single step. The example that we just went through is highly simplified. Most cases require recognizing that getting to a customer doesn't happen on the first connection, the first contact, the first click, and so on. Now, this can be applied to almost any kind of business. We're going to do two more examples. One will be an online example, and then we're going to do a second example for a car dealership, which you're going to do yourself and then answer in Canvas. So let's talk about home energy service audits, and we're going to do this via Facebook impressions. So this is an online campaign, at least as a start. And so here's the information about this particular campaign. To get 1,000 Facebook impressions is going to cost about $50. So this is not a real world number, by the way. But let's assume that this were the case. To get 1,000 people to see this particular Facebook ad, it would cost $50. There's a 6% click-through rate. That means that 6% of the people who see the ad click on it to see what it means. That takes them to the website. 10% of people who visit the website request a proposal. That is, a proposal for how much it would cost to do the energy audit for their home. So they probably have to enter a little bit of information, like how big the house is and where it's located and so on. Sending a proposal is not free. The company spends, every time the company receives a request for proposal, it costs $25 to put the proposal together. It's not a fully automated system. Someone has to sit down, look at the size of the house, look at the location, and figure out some additional information about it, and that costs money because we pay people to work for our company. And so this might incorporate maybe an hour or two of work or something like that. And then once these potential customers receive the proposals, 2/3 of them actually then buy the audit. So how what is our cost of customer acquisition? Now, this is much more complicated than the other one, but I really strongly encourage you, before we go to the next slide, to see what the answer is. This is a great opportunity to test it out for yourself. You're going to learn this best by doing it and running through the calculations. Here's one way of providing the analysis. Now, you might have been able to go through it just in your head, step by step. But another way to do it is to create a table like this, in which we address the conversion rate, the number of customers still active in the funnel, the cost of the specific step, and then the total cost of the entire process. So let's start at the top with 1,000 impressions. That means we're saying there are 1,000 customers who see the ad, and it cost us $50 to place the ad. So there's our total cost so far, $50, and we have 1,000 potential customers to work with. Of them, only 6% will actually click through. So that brings our number of customers in the funnel down to 60. This doesn't cost us anything. This step just happens on its own. So our total cost is still $50. Of those 60, 10% of them request a proposal. So now we're down to 6. This, however, cost us money. The 6 people who requested a proposal, each proposal costs us $25 to produce. So the cost of this step is 6 times 25, which is $150. And that brings our total cost up to $200. And then, of those individuals still in the funnel at this point, the ones who receive an actual proposal, 2/3 of them actually order the audit. So of the 6 individuals who requested a proposal, 4 of them actually order the audit. Again, this doesn't cost us anything, and so our total cost is $200. Our CoCA is our total cost divided by customers acquired. Our total cost, as shown in the chart, is $200, and the number of customers we acquired is 4. So our CoCA is $50 per customer. So I encourage you, take a moment, walk through this, make sure you're comfortable with it, because this is the expectation that you can complete a calculation like this. So here's the one to do yourself. I'll explain out the details here, and then you'll have the chart, and then you'll need to go to Canvas to complete this quiz activity, which includes both the CoCA and an LTV calculation. So you probably want to watch the LTV audio presentation as well before you launch the quiz. You can start and stop the quiz, but it's probably a good idea to get it all done at once. So here's the example. We're now talking about a car dealership with some kind of advertising campaign. We're going to send physical invitations by the mail to 10,000 people in Madison, and it's going to cost us $1,000 to do that. We're inviting them to come to a car sale at the dealership. 5% will come to the dealership, and of those who come to the dealership, 10% of them will go on a test drive. Now again, here's a situation where this step is not free. A test drive takes an hour or two, and we have to pay our employee to do that. And there's probably other costs like marginal insurance and the gas and things like that. So we've determined that the effective cost of any given test drive to us is $50. Then, of the people who go on a test drive, 20% of them will actually buy the car. So here's the same kind of chart which I've provided to you, but you've got to fill the rest in yourself to figure out what the answer is. All the steps are on here, and you just need to enter in the additional data and do the calculations. So this gives you a sense of how to do CoCA. Please take a shot at this. This is the exact question that's in the Canvas activity quiz. So take a look, see how you do, and then you also should move on to the lifetime value calculation, because that will also talk about how it's connected to CoCA.